Let's set the stage. It's 1973, and four young musicians who had just stumbled onto success with a laid-back country rock debut now are about to make one of the strangest career decisions imaginable. Instead of recording another collection of radio-friendly songs about girls, trucks, and trains, they decide to make a concept album about Old West outlaws. Not metaphorical outlaws, actual outlaws, the notorious Doolin-Dalton gang. David Geffen's Asylum Records wasn't exactly thrilled, but the band didn't care. Glenn Frey and Don Henley had become fascinated with the mythology of the American outlaw, men chasing freedom while knowing the world was slowly leaving them behind. It wasn't hard to draw parallels with musicians themselves, constantly moving, living outside normal society, running towards something they could never quite catch. This is Desperado. Welcome to Album Archives, the vault of music history, where we dive into the top 300 albums of all time as voted on by fans of the Music Rewind podcast. I'm your host, Steve Epley, and today we're cracking open number 243, Desperado, by Eagles. Released April 17, 1973 on Asylum Records, this 36-minute concept album was the Eagles' sophomore effort and remains one of the boldest swings of their entire career. Their second album, produced by Glyn Johns and recorded primarily at Island Studios in London, Desperado expanded the band's country rock sound with orchestral arrangements, recurring themes, and an ambitious narrative thread that tied the songs together. This wasn't just a collection of singles. This was an album in the true sense of the word. A beginning, a middle, and an end. Desperado.
I am an outlaw. I was born an outlaw's son. The highway is my legacy. On the highway I will run. In one hand I have a Bible. In the other I got a gun. Don't you know me?
The outlaw concept runs throughout the record, but not always literally. Sometimes the outlaws are historical figures. Sometimes they're musicians. Sometimes they're simply people who struggle to settle down and belong anywhere for very long. Those blurry lines only add to the enjoyment on every listen, though. Doolin-Dalton introduces the gang itself and immediately establishes the cinematic feel of the record. Strings begin appearing where steel guitars normally lived. Characters and locations are referenced and revisited throughout the entire album, told in that patented Eagles 4-part harmony. Doolin-Dalton still remains one of my favorite pieces of storytelling in the entire Eagles catalog.
Lay down your law books now, they're no damn good. Better keep on moving. Doolin-Dalton, till your shadow.
21 brings a little of that first Eagles record back into the mix before Out of Control opens up the throttle.
Come on, saddle up, boys. We're gonna ride into town. We're gonna get a little out of control.
Then comes Tequila Sunrise, one of the great early Eagles songs, and a reminder that even on a concept album, they never forgot how to write great melody.
It's another tequila sunrise. This old world still looks the same. Another frame.
The title track closes side one on the album and eventually becomes one of the defining songs of the band's career. Ironically, it was never actually released as a single in the US, and yet for many listeners, it may be the definitive Eagles song.
You're losing all your highs and lows. Ain't it funny how the feeling goes away? Desperado.
But to me, the real treasures are hiding on side two. Saturday Night might be one of the most beautiful songs the Eagles ever recorded. Some really excellent guitar work and the Eagles' 4-part harmony, it feels almost haunting in places.
Whatever happened to Saturday night? Finding a sweetheart and holding her tight.
Outlaw Man kicks in with the needed lyrics that allow the listener to imprint onto the album. Everyone has a little outlaw in them, while Certain Kind of Fool perfectly captures the wandering, restless spirit that tells the origins of that same man defined by bad decisions, led by the fantastic vocal range of Randy Meisner.
They got respect. Oh yeah, he wants the same. Oh yeah, and it's a certain kind of fool that likes to hear the sound of his own name.
And then there's Bitter Creek, quietly sitting there waiting for listeners to discover it 50 years later. The end of the road. Justification. The outlaw trying to tell himself it was all worth it.
You know there ain't no cause to weep at Bitter Creek.
The album closes with the Doolin-Dalton Desperado reprise, and it plays like a retrospective of everything that came before it, just as if the credits were rolling over a screen. Themes return, melodies intertwine, and suddenly the whole record feels less like a collection of songs and more like a completed story.
Desperado. Is there gonna be anything left? Is there gonna you sealed your fate a long time. Ain't it hard when you're all alone in the center rain?
The album artwork alone deserves its own conversation. The front cover is iconic enough. The full band dressed in full Western attire, staring directly into the camera with the confidence of men who have completely committed to the illusion. Shot by legendary rock photographer Harry Diltz at Paramount Ranch in California, a location famous for countless Western films. It looks less like an album cover and more like a lost publicity still from an old Hollywood Western. But the back cover is where the story really comes together. While the front cover introduces the Outlaws, the back cover tells you how their story ends. There, the Eagles lie dead in the dust alongside friends and collaborators Jackson Browne and J.D. Souther, apparently gunned down and captured by the law. Standing over them is the victorious posse, producers, managers, road crew, and members of the Eagles' extended musical family that helped build the Southern California sound of the early 70s. Capped by Glyn Johns as the white hat on the far right, the head lawman standing over the defeated Eagles. It's theatrical, it's ambitious, and it's completely inseparable from the album itself, because Desperado was never really about the Old West. The outlaws of the American frontier had simply become the outlaws of rock and roll. Most concept albums tell you what they're about. Desperado trusted you to figure it out.
And a man could use his back or use his brains, but some just went stir crazy, Lord, 'cause nothing ever changed till Bill Doolin.
Let's put 1973 in context. Progressive rock is at its commercial peak. Glam rock dominates Britain. Southern rock is beginning to rise in America, while singer-songwriters rule FM radio. Country rock exists mostly on the fringes and in California. The Eagles could have easily delivered another collection of songs like Take It Easy and Witchy Woman, and probably sold millions more records immediately. Instead, they made this, a Western concept album, as a sophomore release. And even producer Glyn Johns was on board with that idea. Glenn Frey and Don Henley believed they were building something bigger than another collection of singles. They wanted a story, a world, a record that demanded to be heard from beginning to end. Initially, Desperado sold modestly, produced no major hit singles, and fell well short of their debut commercially. History eventually sided with the band, because 50 years later, we're still talking about Desperado as one of the great concept albums of the classic rock era. It's one of the most confident decisions a young band has ever made.
21 and strong as I can be. I know what freedom means to me, and I can't give a reason why I should ever want to die.
Why does Desperado endure? Because it trusts the listener. There's no obvious radio concessions here, no attempt to chase trends, no pressure to repeat the debut. Instead, it asks you to sit down for 36 minutes and live inside its world. And once you're there, it's remarkably easy to stay. The themes of freedom, Loneliness, aging, regret, and searching for somewhere to belong still resonate today just as strongly as they did in '73. And I'll be honest with you, this isn't just one of my favorite Eagles albums, it's one of my favorite albums, period. I've always loved the ambition of it. Imagine being a young band with exactly one successful album under your belt and deciding that your next move is going to be a Western concept album complete with recurring themes, orchestral arrangements, and historical outlaws. Most bands don't make records this ambitious after 10 years together. The Eagles did it on album number 2. And initially, it failed. The singles underperformed, sales lagged behind the debut, and critics were divided. But somewhere along the way, listeners discovered what Eagles fans had known all along. Tequila Sunrise found its audience on radio, and the title track got a lift from Linda Ronstadt's stunning cover later that same year. Music history was never the same.
Woman, don't try to love me, don't try to understand. A life upon the road is the life of an outlaw.
This album is special. For me, it's an effortless front-to-back listen. Saturday Night may be one of the most underrated songs in their entire catalog. Doolin-Dalton is classic Henley and Frey storytelling. Certain Kind of Fool perfectly captures the spirit of the entire project. And the recording itself sounds incredible. Warm, open, and organic. You can practically see the dust blowing through the desert while listening to it. As listeners of our long-run episode already know, the Eagles are my band, and Pink Floyd, but we'll get there. But the Eagles, they always have been. And while Hotel California gets the headlines and The Long Run gets the debates, Desperado might just be the album that captures who the Eagles were trying to become. Ambitious, confident, completely willing to bet on themselves, and a little bit out of control. If you've never heard Desperado front to back, today's the day. Don't shuffle it, don't skip around. Put it on and let the story unfold the way the band intended. New to it? Pour some whiskey and kick back for story time. Longtime fan? Give Saturday Night another listen and tell me it isn't just a hidden gem. For those building their collection, there's a link in the show notes to pick up that vinyl. That's it for this edition of Album Archives, the vault of music history. If you enjoyed it, please share it with a friend or leave a review wherever you listen. Next up is number 242, Fashion Nugget by Cake. Check out musicrewindpodcast.com/album archives to see where we're at and where we're headed. If there's an album that shaped your life that didn't make the top 300, you can now dedicate an episode of Album Archives to it. Every album has a story, and this is how you tell yours. Link in the show notes. For now, I'm Steve Epley, and as I always say, listen to the full album. Until next time.
A podcast from the Sidereal Media Group. Back to you, anchors.